Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Too much on my desk this morning. Too much on my desk. It's a great day to make some pen purchases. You want to buy some stuff for me? Is there an archive of friends of the show to look through anywhere? Yes. Kate, what's up? Thanks for the 10 months of sub and hope you're doing well. Hope you're working from home today or cheating at work and spying on us. This is really loud all of a sudden. Is it louder to y'all? Susan, 13 months of subbing. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Is it louder for y'all? It is louder for me. That's okay. Like, I'm cool with it being loud. I just want to know if it's louder for y'all. Howdy dowdy. I've heard that one. Before. So hello, good morning, good afternoons, good evenings. Yes, Reed Whistles. If you log into your member platform, into Memberful, so penaddict.memberful.com, when you log in, you want to click on the podcast link on the left, and it'll tell you how to do that. It'll get you hooked up. So, oh, yes, thank you, Alan. There you go. Literally, right when I went live, today's podcast dropped. My conversation with the nib doctor, Audrey Madison, is now heading towards your podcast feeds. I was at Atlas and broke my record for money spent without buying a pen, so I'm good this week. Wow. That's a thought. I'd have to think about that. That's a good one. That's yeah. That's a purchasing session. Yes, a good week. What did they have, A2 pads in stock? Must have been a lot of stocking up on the A2. Oh boy. Good morning all. Good morning. Slumberland Studio's been on a Instagram heater. Y'all make sure to go follow Slumberland Studio on Instagram. Carol's pictures are the best. What pens are we cleaning today? Those. So, yeah, I am, my desk workspace today is like this big. My mouse is over the top of the keyboard. You know, it took me, that's why I was running a little bit behind, because it took me a minute to get set up. And then as soon as I was ready to go live, Toby wanted to go out. So Toby rules the roost around here, and I should have taken him just before anyway. Brad, tell me about Pilot posting nibs. What's your experience? More finer than a Platinum UEF? So it's one of my favorite nibs ever. There is a review on the blog, and it doesn't quite get to the UEF. So Tony is correct there. I will say I think it's firmer than the UEF, though, right? So it's going to give you that kind of like XXF line in a firmer fashion. I think the UEF is softer, even though you're not really putting pressure on it on the UEF when you're using it because it's so fine. But the PO is much firmer. Want to see Toby someday? If he wanders in here, he is so like out of it these mornings now that the kids, it's just me and him this morning, right? Kids are back at school, so he's chilling. And he doesn't want to, I don't think he wants to get up from his chill spot, but he makes his appearances every now and then. It's usually because a kid has drug him in here, or he's just running around the house. But if it's just me and him, I'm chilling, he's good. Luxury 20 months of subbing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Wow, I just got really scratchy throat. Lots of water this morning. Very thirsty. Very thirsty. All right, so let's talk pen cleaning. Thank you, Andrew. I will. I have done that, and I will be doing a lot more of that. Did Twitch remove the subscribe with Prime option? They did not. But what happens is, we have discovered through other people here that use Prime, it is down to the minute before Prime pops up as an option. Like, it's not even like the same day type of thing. So, like, it'll go, like, if you did your subscription at 10:59:38 on Friday, 30 days later, it's going to come up at 10:59, 39, 30 days later, so it's a weird thing. So I appreciate you looking for that. And I appreciate you using that. Y'all should. I keep meaning to say I need to write this down. I don't have any room to write anything today. I need to write down. So I have a Prime link to give you the links to go see your stuff, because you don't always see them like right on the screen, or you can't find them easily sometimes if you're on mobile. So there is a link that I can put in here for you to manage that easier. All right, let's talk pens. Wow, very thirsty. All right, this is what we're doing today. We're cleaning pens. And before we go through what I'm cleaning and why I'm cleaning them, not all of them have the same answer or the same reasoning as to why. Let's talk about what I'm not cleaning and why. So I go to clean pens for various reasons. Usually when I get too many inked, I have to start reeling them back in a little bit. So there's different reasons why each one of these pens is getting cleaned. And let me show you what's not getting cleaned to give you an idea of where we're headed here first. So this is kind of the only case I have going right now. It's a Brasstown, Notco Brasstown wax canvas. Can't quite get it all on here. And then the nylon always does funny in the camera. So we're keeping the Kasama inked. One, because I love it. And two, because I'm going to review the ink that's in it. And this is a good pen for, I thought I only had one inked. This has the Sailor Delaware ink, which might be like one of the few state inks that I review. I usually send them off to the review crew. I have enough inks and enough variety, but this Delaware is that kind of magenta-y purple. So I'm gonna keep that, one, because I like writing with this pen, and two, I'm going to review that ink hopefully sooner rather than later. You need some brown wax canvas one day. We should probably do that. The Namiki Milky Way, this pretty much just stays inked. It has Pilot Urushi. It has Pilot Uroshizuku Tsukio in it, which I think is the only ink that's ever been in this pen. It's kind of the perfect match to it. It's got a fine nib in it. Now that I'm looking at Mount Fuji and this wonderful Japanese pen, I should have done something blog related for the Olympics, the Japanese Olympics of pens. I should have done that. We don't have anything there. We have the Narwhal Demonstrator inked with one of the Pannonia, the purple one that I can never remember the name. You still can? I know. You fail to account for how lazy I am sometimes. That's why my list of ideas is long and my list of execution is short, Kobathor. So yeah, this one's still inked. This one, I'm leaving this one inked up because I need to review it soon. And I need to use it a little bit more. Shown design, pocket 6, brass faceted. I just need to review this. These are, so review Q, personal use, review Q, review Q. So that Brooks, you want to get me in a fight this morning, this is how you're going to get me in a fight. So yeah, this is the review queue. So a lot of these pens are staying here because they're going to be reviewed soon. So that's 1, 2, 3 review pens so far. This is more of a personal use pen right now. I may eventually review it. I'm not anxious to review it anytime soon because it's so new. And you see me still trying to twist the barrel. I am really, 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 really enjoying my experience with the Homo sapiens. I hoped it would be as good as it was, and it is. Like, I had high expectations for this pen, and it has lived up to the high expectations and the high price tag, right? So that's kind of that's probably my most used pen over the past week. Woo, hype train. Oh, did Rich Sticks? Rich, I missed your bits. 550 bits, Rich Sticks. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Somehow I missed that. You couldn't help it. I know. Is the narwhal is gaining traction a TWSBI competitor? I think that's a really good way to pose the question. I'm still solidly in the TWSBI camp, but like, let's see. I certainly don't discount what Narwhal's doing, although I'm still very, very TWSBI over Narwhal type of thing. Zenny DK, thank you for the Prime sub. I really appreciate that. I thank you for choosing me for your Prime sub. That's pretty cool. I think that's awesome. They only compete with the 580 and up. They don't have an eco price pin yet. Well, this one's right in the middle, right? And this is getting to be the way the eco pricing's going. This one that I have is getting to be the eco price. Because these are only... Is this one $40, $44, $38? I forget. And it feels good. Brooks is banned. We could ban him. I'm fine with that. Narwhal is going to be making some strides to get more into that market. So what Narwhal is doing that I like is they're getting involved with like Peter Draws, right? And having just some like interesting community decisions that kind of build the brand from like the community level, you know, kind of a bottom up kind of growth, even though Peter's Draws is huge, right? But they're not just coming in slamming just general marketing down everyone's throat. They're saying, hey, let's work with someone like Peter and, you know, have him, you know, promote our pen and make a pen for his community and spread the word like that. So new materials as well. I wonder who would know anything about that. Shocked Pikachu face. So yeah, like I don't discount the Narwhal versus TWSBI comparison, but I'm actually having a really hard time comparing the two, even though they're in the same category. I guess just because I have so much experience with TWSBI and so little experience with Narwhal, but I think it's a good question. That's why I'm having such a hard time answering. I think it's probably a valid question. All right, last pen I'm keeping inked up. Oh, not the last pen. I'll show you one more. Yeah. This still has the Imperial Purple in it, which is great. So we're going to write that one dry. So this one, and this one. So the Nikaya, the Pilot, and the Visconti, those are all the personal pens, right? Like I categorize these things. Like these are the pens that I use, like if I'm writing notes or just want to have like a really like perfect experience because I've picked these pens out just for me. Like those are the pens I go to. And then I have a subset of pens that I'm actually doing things with, like actively working on product reviews for Narwhal, the Shone, and the ink that's in the Kasama. So these are the things that stay inked up. I also still have, for full disclosure, I keep the Platinum desk pen has been living at the desk, and I do pick it up from time to time. It'll probably continue to live here. This pen will probably never get cleaned like thoroughly because one, the cap, right? Platinum has the cap insert there to keep it from drying out. And two, it's got the Platinum Carbon Black nib, so that's just kind of a good note-taking pen. This is like way overkill for my Platinum desk pen. I have like the $90 desk holder for the $10 desk pen. So that's what I'm doing. This is literally what my desk looks like. Like I keep all my most used pens here, and then put the dinky Platinum desk pen in the in the fancy pen holder. So it's probably easier to ask Brooks who he isn't making resins for at this point. All right, JD lady, enjoy your class. Don't get in trouble. All right, so that is what we're keeping inked and the reasons why, which go into the reasons why on what we're cleaning. So there's some easier to answer than others. At a couple of the carbon desk pens, but the nibs just didn't work out for me. Do you have the extra fine nibs, Kobuthor? If you have extra fine and you don't want them, I honestly would like you to email me, and I would like to buy those off of you. Because this one just has the fine nib. I would prefer the extra fine nib. So let me know. Shoot me an email. All right. Why are we cleaning the pens that we're cleaning? It's not as easy as a, hey, I've written them dry, or hey, I am tired of using them, or hey, I'm tired of the ink, or whatever. All right, we'll just start. You had sold them a couple months ago. No biggie. I would like an extra fine platinum desk pen to go with this one. I know I can still find them somewhere. They like, as we've talked about before when I opened this pen, that this is the new model and the old model is kind of like the real deal. All right, Leonardo Memento Zero Mango. I just kind of feel like I've written with this one so much over the past few months. It's just time to swap it out. I've done an ink review for the Birmingham Antique Sepia ink, which is in this pen, and then I've done a review for the pen itself. It's just time to give this one a break, clean it out, refresh it. All right, this is the why we're cleaning things. This is the Mr. Cypress Blue and Black G10. I haven't clicked with using this pen yet. I click with looking at it. I haven't completely clicked with using it yet. So I want to think about what I'm going to do with this pen. What I need to do is really swap out the nib here and give me something more fun to play around with. So I like the pen. I want a reason to pick it up other than to stare at it, if that makes sense, right? Like, I love the pen and it feels like substantial. Like, I like how this pen feels, but it's a stock Yovo fine. And I have some options. This is micarta. This is G10, which is a fiber material like a micarta, but it's like a fiberglass. So it's a really unique material. I don't know if you can actually see like the material. Like, if you look in the black, you might be able to see it kind of looks like a fingerprint in the black. That's actually like fiberglass. So it's a really unique material and tough material to manufacture. I love the pen. A company called Mr. Cypress out of Taiwan made this. So I need to swap out the nib to make me use it. I probably should. It's got a lot of ink left in it. I probably should just swap out the nib. I'm gonna hold that. See, I'm talking. This is part of the problems here. Like, I'm trying to overkill the cleaning, right? Because I know how I am, right? Because we'll be back in this situation tomorrow with all the pens in the case I just showed you and all these. I was like, well, if what I'm really not thrilled with here is the nib experience, well, I can switch out the nib and why'd I do this to myself, chat? This one's easy. We're going to clean out. This is cotton candy. There's still a pretty good amount of cotton candy left in there, but I've used most of it. Is the nib crap? No. The nib is not crap at all. It's just normal. And as silly as this sounds, I have a lot of abnormal nibs that make my writing work better. This is a stock Yovo steel fine nib. Completely nothing wrong with it. But give me personally a reason to pick up a pen. You know, why do I pick up certain pens to write with? Well, because they make my handwriting look great. And a stock fine nib does not make my handwriting look great. So, yeah, like, that's it. Like, this is a stock extra fine, right? I could use this nib all day long. This is a stock Yovo extra fine. It is a completely different writing experience than the G10 that I just set aside, despite being the identical nib manufacturer and material. I hope that makes sense. I know it sounds like crazy talk when you describe things that way, but that's like literally why we're here. Send the nib out, Nin? No, because I have 10 nibs I can go grab right now and pop in that. Like, I could do that. I could put up the Be Right Back screen, go in there into the Closet of Doom, grab my nib box and put something in and go, oh, now we're talking, right? It's like that type of level. So what's happening is I'm actively choosing not to use that pen, not because of the pen, but because I have other pens that are equally as cool with a better nib writing experience. Does that make sense? So I'm actively not been using that because of that. All right. 580 AL Prussian Blue Cotton Candy. This gets cleaned out because this is my ink review pen for the most part, and we need to get another ink going in here. So this one's just time to go. All right. Nikaya, what do they call this one? I always forget the name of this one, but it's Pen Nerd, right? Shocker. Super excited to watch a pen cleaning stream to see if I'm doing it right. Well, you probably should pick someone else. Is that Leonardo Yovo EF different than other Yovo EF? It shouldn't be, other than this one's plated, but I'm not finding that the plating causes any wider line widths, which is what you see sometimes with plating. Yeah, so it's the hairline, but what's the shape? What's the shape called? Long cigar, black hairline. Thank you. Long cigar, black hairline. I'm selling this pen. It's going in this for sale queue. It is so good, which is why I brought it. It is just so big, right? It is, and I have a broad stub nib on it that Mark Backus put on here. Jumping ahead, do you just dump the ink or return to the bottle? That is a great question. We're going to talk a lot about that. Tech Relic, I dump it, and we'll go through why here in a minute. It's just too big for my daily use. So I'm going to clean it out, and this is going to go in the pen sale. So, God, I wrote this weekend that I never regret selling a pen, and I don't think I'll regret selling this one, but, I'm actually going to sell 2 Nikayas. So, there you go. But yeah, dumping it because, number one, I have a ton of inks, and even though it is wasteful, it's okay. At least I tell myself it is. And 2, I don't like putting things back into the bottle that I don't know what's really happening with the ink. So it's an inefficient way of doing things, but and perfectly honest, wasteful way of doing things. But it's kind of the situation I've got myself in. So, all right, see you, Brooks. Have fun in DC. All right, I told y'all I was cleaning this like 2 weeks ago, and it's been sitting there in the cleaning stack. This is the Mayora. I love this pen. I'm having a problem with the ink hard starting, and we're trying to determine if it's actually the clip design that's causing this air to get into the cap and causing hard starts, which is drying out the nib, or the ink. So I am going to swap out the ink first, and then we'll see. So we want to try, that's what I want to try, because I want to review this pen very soon. This pen should actually be ahead of all the other pens in the pen case. I'm generally about ready to review it, but I need to solve it. I at least need to test this further than just the singular ink I've tested. Will you be selling your used pens in the Pen Addict store? Yes. In about 2 weeks, they're going to go out to Pen Addict members first. Ink is cheap relatively. Do not feel guilty. Yeah, I agree. And I do feel guilty sometimes. Like, this is the one that is going to make me feel guilty, right? Because parting gift for you, Brad, hit me. If you regret selling you the Nikaya, I'll sell you my Naka Eye and hairline. See, that's probably a better shape, but especially knowing you, if it has a fine nib, like. But I probably don't need that one. But that would be that shape would. That is not the parting gift I was expecting, Brooks. That is too nice, Jonathan. That is too nice, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Dang, I did not expect that right before heading to DC. I thought I'd be like, hey, here's something new I'm bringing to DC. So yeah, thank you. You do so much for us. You do so much for us. Not me, you. Me winning isn't. You do. If y'all got a sub for Brooks, give him a shout out. Give Brooks a shout out. If you're in DC, let me give you a tip. If you're going to the DC Pen Show and you're interested in what Jonathan Brooks has for sale, if he's on your list to see, Friday morning when the show opens is the best time to go. And there is no option number 2. Okay? I would skip, as a Franklin Christoph fan, I would skip Franklin Christoph opening morning to pick Jonathan Brooks opening morning, because that is it. What he brings is what he brings. He's not going to be pulling magic out of the hat on Sunday morning. So yeah, there you go. Brooks, this was amazing. I can't believe you just did that. Thank you so much. And y'all, seriously, Brooks is the real deal. I'm proud to call him a friend. And now I should stop talking and let him go to work. You'll be in the small ballroom in the back. All right. And Alexander, AK Ray, are you in here? He said the booth map is going to go live at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Let me see. He texted me. He tweeted me this morning. Cheerleaders are going to be tired. We're going to let them get tired. 1 p.m. Okay, 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, the interactive map will be up. So, is Brad at Mythic Pens going to be there? Link for Brooks stuff, CarolinaPenCompany.com. Someone grab that link and put it in the chat, please. Bling. Thank you, Kirsty. Thank you. Oh, look, I can mute event sounds. That's cool. Hey, if I do mute event sounds, can y'all hear them, or is that just me? Mythic and Iron Feather will be next to you. Oh, crap. Well, so, yeah. Is the ATM next to y'all? Alan Shuko with the 10 gifted subs. You don't hear them? All right, I muted them for just a minute. We're going to put it back on because Alan just dropped 10 more in the chat. Let's go. If you got a gifted sub from Alan Shuko, give him a shout out in the... Brooks is the dude you visit on video mixing acrylic. Well, I didn't personally. I haven't been to Brooks's house yet, but a lot of people have been. Alan with the 10s gifted subs. That is amazing. You are awesome. Gamma, I will review that momentarily. I got your question. There was a one-day Caddyshack trivia quiz on Learn League last week. Too difficult for me. I'd be interested to know what some of the questions were, because there are some weird, like the "me winning isn't you do" is like my favorite quote from the movie, but it's not like a popular. It's not like a top 5 or 10 type of quote. Yes, Fig Boot went to Brooks' studio. If y'all have a link to Fig Boot's video, y'all can pop that in there. Can we get the hype train going again? The hype train has like a timeout period, so yeah, we're good. We're well into the hypes. We'll make it happen. Barbecue on the menu. Yeah, so maybe this might be like a fall thing. Yeah, like when shows are over and it gets cooler. Yeah, hype train's probably going to cool down. Exactly. So yeah. So Alan, I really, really appreciate it. We got a lot of feedback on Alan's friend of the show with the Chaos Pen. That was so fun. Which Fig Boot video? The one where he visits Carolina Pen Company / Jonathan Brooks. All right, I'm going to hit the mute on here again because we had them all queued up. Oh, that actually might be it. Did you see it was not it. Did you see the new Blue Lava Visconti just announced? All right, we're going to pop this up. We'll get back to the pen cleaning. We're distracted now. You need to share the feedback with me. I will. I don't think it was any like exquisitely long worded emails, but like, oh my God, that was really cool to hear something different like that. Stay focused, Brad. Squirrel. We just squirreled this one out. All right, this is the what does that say? Blue Ultramare Once again, we've been inspired by nature and have created a shade that echoes the pigment extracted from the lapis lazuli stone. Blue ultramare. I still like my white one. All right, we're gonna mute those again. How much? I don't know. The retail price on the old ones was $7.95. So, what's that? 800 minus 160, 640. But they could have raised the price. This is the new one. So, this is the same series as. Whoops. Hi. How are you? It's the same series as this one. So, since they started doing colors. The blue is very aggressive. Yeah, if you're into like the Klein blue, like that's your pen. It looks good. Like I would never use it, but it fits with what they're trying to do. I think it looks good. It's got the speckles in it, just like everything else. Like I'm still glad I went with the white, but it's like a matte. It's like a satiny texture. Yeah, it's a good blue. And I like that they stuck with the black trim and the black hardware. Pretty good. I still like the white one for me, but like all of those colors are good. Like sandstone, whatever the red one's called. I can never remember the name. And then this blue one fits right in. I like it. It looks like they dipped the white pen in base tape blue. Yeah, that's what I'm worried my pen's going to. This is what I'm worried my white pen's going to look like when I'm done inking it. Oh, one question. What was the name of the song that Al's car horn played? God, I don't know. Yeah. It had a sound clip. I don't think it was Dixie, but that's cool. I'll have to look at that. All right, I'm going to pull that link up so I can look at it. Do they have the questions? Okay. Yeah, see, like I know the first one. I might know the second one. All right, I'm going to have to look at that. That looks funny. All right, so yeah, there you go. Big blue Visconti. I guess y'all see those. We'll see those at DC. Is this from Lloyd's? Lloyd's of London. Coles of London. That's Visconti in Italy. So y'all can go see if Coles of London has these. I bet that looks really awesome in person. What's that all black to the right? We're going to talk about that. Eric is asking that too. So let me get back to what I'm actually doing today. Sorry if my mouse skills are a little bit off. My desk is a little bit off today. So this is the Nikaya long cigar hairline. So it's just a larger Nikaya, like a really full length. There is a texture that is essentially a brushed texture. Let's see if I can get it on the camera. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's not like a solid matte. It's actually, like I can see it from the distance I'm at from the pen, but it's not, the lens is not really picking up. You can see it more on the end of the cap here. So it feels fantastic. It's very like a satiny. And then it's got a rhodium plated broad nib that I had Mark Backus put a stub grind on. So it's a really great writer and a really awesome pen, and I'm really selling it. So we'll see. It'll be a good price too, because I got it for a pretty good price. Could never get over how corn nuts smell. I still haven't done corn nuts again. Why are we doing the corn nuts thing? I haven't gotten corn nuts yet. It looks like ebonite. It's lighter than ebonite. It has an ebonite base, and then this is painted over it. When you sell it, will it be first come or auction? It'll be first come. There's no really good way to do it because I'm selling 20-ish pens. So I'm just going to announce the time to Pen Addict members when that page will go live on my website. I just don't have the wherewithal or the time to do it in some like really like convoluted but more efficient way. So, all right, I'm cleaning this out, and here's why. So this is the Shown Ultim, and I inked it with Platinum Citrus Black, and it's a perfect match, but y'all were correct. It burps since I didn't fill it up enough. I could fill it up with more classic black, but if I'm going to commit to a large capacity ink, it's not going to be Citrus Black. I love Citrus Black, but if I'm going to put that much ink in this pen, I want like an all the time writing ink. And this is burped all over my desk, all over the page, like just to show y'all. Like, that was the blob that landed on the paper, and there was three other blobs that hit the desk, right? So, y'all were right. I was trying to not waste ink, and in the end, guess what? I'm wasting ink. So, I'm going to clean it out, and then I'm going to put in like a blue-black ink in there that I'll use over a longer period of time and be able to refill it when it gets lower. This does have a Yovo. Dump it back in the bottle. I've got enough of it. I'm fine. It has a Yovo nib, and you can see it's actually spitting out here on the side too, right? Like it's because I didn't fill it all the way. Like y'all told me to. Chat, you were right. I was wrong. So this is an extra fine Yovo nib on it. Just use the converter to prevent burping. I don't want to use the converter. Ryan, I don't want to use the converter. It's like tailor-made for the eyedrop ring, so I'm going to try to eyedropper it. Now, if I have a round 2 where it's going to burp when I fill it more, I will jump to the converter, but I would like to use it as an eyedropper because it's so easy. So easy. Woodshed pen, next one. I am an ink waster. Irma Gerd. God, I haven't heard Irma Gerd in a while. That used to be one of my favorite. The original Irma Gerd girl picture was amazing. This pen is amazing. I want to swap this out a little bit. Different color, different nib, few different things. But I'm gonna use this pen. It's just cool. But I want to get a little different setup with it. So I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with this pen. So we're gonna clean this one out today. Last one is the entry from Lurker Extraordinaire Ben Walsh. I just need to clean it. It's just time for me to clean it. I enjoy using it. I probably need to review it. So yeah, we're just gonna keep using it. But this one's just due for a cleaning, due for a re-inking. I think I just want to put not a blue black in there, since I'm gonna put blue black in this, and I don't know what I'm gonna put in this. So let's see. These two pens are getting re-inked after this. And then I did bring my Sailor King of Pen in here so we can play with this. We'll do this last. We'll figure out the King of Pen converter here at the end. And that I did bring an ink for, which we'll talk about afterwards. All right, let me get to cleaning because I actually don't have as much time as I'm pretending I have today. So for cleaning, my little setup is I do have a cutting board that I put down if I'm on my kitchen counters where I usually do these. I'll put down like the cutting board, the X-Acto board underneath, and then I'll put like a microfiber cloth down on top of that. It just keeps things from rolling away, keeps things, nice and in place, and it also is fiberless, right? So it keeps things good. Normally I would only have one salsa bowl of water, but if I'm doing it over the sink, but since I'm not doing it over the sink, I'm going to have a dirty water and a clean water. I'm also normally would just dump ink down the sink, and since I'm not near a sink, I'm just going to have a dump cup. So we're just going to dump some ink in here so we don't overfill this. If I was over the sink, I would literally have one bowl and not a second bowl and not this. So this is just for desk cleaning purposes to kind of not make a mess. So what I would do is the Leonardo is very easy to clean. So what I'd do is remove the converter, and then I would just dump this ink down the sink. So we're just going to use my cup over here to get the majority of that ink out. And then we'll run it through the water a couple times. This is why my hands get inky. I'm not this prepared or tidy. Yeah, it's just a thing. Like, my hands still get inky, and like, I don't care, but I do pretty much do this every time. So we'll run that through a few times, then we'll get it like half filled with water, and we'll shake it just to kind of, get ink out of the back by the piston or whatever. Then when I think I have it pretty good, we'll run it over here in the clean water just to make sure it's fine. Normally, you don't have to run it through the clean water. You'll know pretty quickly. Then what I do, again, the obsessiveness, is we take the converter. You can see it's got a little water left in it. We take it, we wrap it in a paper towel, and then we pack a dip. That really still hurts my wrist, by the way. That way, we can see right here if anything's been stuck up in the top, and it has. So this is how obsessive I am over it. It looked clean, right? But you can see it's not, so we're gonna run this through again. Brad, what are your thoughts on the shown design? Ultima, is it really worth the money most of us spend on a pen as a Lamy 2K? I mean, I can't really tell you about budget-wise. I feel like it's worth the money. Like, it feels priced correctly to me. That's the best I can say. Whether it's priced correctly for you, I'm not sure. But, like, as far as, like, considering what it is and being on the market, I would say it's priced correctly. I don't disassemble converters, but I spray them with a syringe. I will sometimes. So, but this is why you go to pen shows, Bruce, so you can check something out like that. So we're still getting a little ink in here. I'm not going to go crazy. We'll just pop it out one more time. Why not use the bulb to squirt water up the converter? You can. So I would actually use a syringe for that. So that's what this is. So we could just syringe it. I'm not going to go too much further on the converter. It's fine. Like, that's not that big a deal. So there you go. And then I will kind of set these. I'll set the group of, whatever this pen. Like the Leonardo converters, they'll go back in the Leonardo pens. The standard international converters will just go into a box, right? Then I don't really care. So with the nib unit, this is really what I care about cleaning. The converter is probably just overkill, but I still do it. So this, I would normally be running it under the sink in the water just to push some of this out, some of the ink out, like in the first batch, first wave, and then I'll grab the aspirator. This is where we make a mess, chat. So this is a nasal aspirator. So, and it just fits right in there, right on the post of the pen. And then I kind of hold it around where they're connecting, where it's stuck in there, and stick it under the water. You'll probably see the water pushing the ink around here. Here, I'll just move my hand. You can see it's like, here, I'll do it slow. So it's really just used to push this through, but I do it a lot more aggressively under the water. All right, so we'll do that a couple times, and then we'll kind of blow air through it like this. And then we'll do a clean one. You don't really have to do the clean one. So I'll take a look at this first, right, just after that, and I'll just go ahead and run it like on my paper towel, and I can already tell there's like no ink left in there. Like it's that simple, right? And then I'll give it a good shake. Whoever told me the aspirator all those years ago, it's really saved like a lot of my sanity in cleaning pens. It is the best. So you need two in general, and you can see I slapped out the nib. There's really like nothing in it, and that was a brownish ink. So that one's good. Done. So you need two nasal aspirators if y'all haven't seen me do this before, and you cut off the tip of one of them. You'll see why in a minute. So this is a standard one, and then this is one I cut the tip off with scissors, and you'll see why in a minute. Cool thing about dumping ink, you can see some accidental chromatography. That's antique sepia. Look, I've never seen that much green out of it in any of my writing samples. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with the cotton candy, the Pannonia cotton candy. I'm just going to... I think I'll just go ahead and unscrew this and dump it. So these, the 580s do just unscrew right here. So the thing with the 580s, we're going to have some extra parts we have to deal with. We'll deal with that in a minute. And then I'm just going to dump the rest of this cotton candy out. I only have a paper towel in this cup because I would never use this otherwise, and I don't want to knock over the cup on my desk. So just, spill that out and then just start piston filling. The 580 does the ecos, and the ecos don't. I use a syringe intended to give liquid medicine to small children instead of a needle tip. It's blunt plastic and just the right size to fit in the feed instead of a cartridge converter. Yep, that's a good call too. I think I have one of those in my little kit here. I'll show you all the rest of my stuff. So I'm just working water up and down through the piston and the water. And we'll do this, we'll treat this the same as a converter. We'll leave some air in there so we can shake it up and see what's in there. At this point, I'm just more inclined to think they're cleaning old ink out of a baby's nose. That's funny. So this actually cleaned like really well. So pretty, it's on the camera. Really crystal clear at this point. So I generally find that with the TWSBIs, they clean pretty well. I mean, it obviously depends on the ink some too, but in general, pretty good. So now I'm just banging out the extra water. What I will do after this is I let the stuff air dry here on this cutting board. So I do keep the cutting board like this for a while, and I'll just move it to a different location and let everything air dry a little bit more. So just a personal little habit thing. All right, so with these TWSBI 580s, I just go ahead and remove these parts because they're going to fall off while I'm cleaning it anyway. You just got to remember not to lose them, not send them down a sink. So this makes it harder to use the aspirator on, right? Because there's really no connection there. But we're just going to stick this under the water as we do it, and it'll work out fine. You'll see. So I'll just go ahead and fill it with water, put it in this, just kind of butt it up against here, and then I'll put my fingers around that area, and then I'll stick it under the water, and it's going to work just fine. Even though I'm not getting an airtight seal. So you should be able to see, like, first shot, I bet you this doesn't have any ink in it at all. So, yeah, this was a pink ink, and look, like, that's just water. So, like, done. The end. Drying is where I get impatient. I just ink that sucker up again. I mean, if I'm going to ink it back up again, I'll go ahead and just dry it as much as I can and ink it back up. I don't really care. It's probably just more born out of laziness, right? It's like, oh, I just did all this. I don't really want to put it up yet. It's just an excuse to not put things up yet. All right, done. Easy peasy. All right, this Nakai is, while you see, we'll need the secondary booger sucker for this. So Nakayas are all just cartridge converter pens. Oops. So you'll see the platinum converter here. So we had Fire on Fire in here. I've used it pretty well. It's pretty much all gone, except a little bit at the bottom, which has been an awesome ink for this pen and this broad nib. It's really great. So I don't even have much to get out of here. It's like 3 drops. So I feel pretty good about that because I'll be dumping a lot of ink later. I'm always happy when I use most of my ink. And this is the rare silver trim platinum converter. You rarely see these. If I'm cleaning out a TWSBI and changing inks, I'll actually take it apart to clean it, then syringe fill it so it's super full. That's not a bad idea. This TWSBI makes it easy for you to do it. All right, we want to get this over to clean water. Do you re-ink with a little water possibly still in the pen? I have, yeah. I mean, I'll try to get it as clean as possible. If there's little dots of ink that you can see, it's not going to affect your ink. That's not enough. That's not enough ink to adversely affect the ink or the ink color, and the ink properties or the ink color. Like, if my converter looked like this, I would be fine with that. I mean, I would try to get a little bit drier, but that amount of ink's not going to affect that amount of water is not going to affect your ink. Like, if I'm ready to go again, like if it's go time to ink up the pen and let's start, I would do it with that much. Oh, this is the other thing that people don't know about converters is the back ends of converters screw off. Oh, let me get it up here. So if you get ink behind the piston there, you can unscrew this part and it comes apart. And then you can clean behind here. You see how there's orange ink? Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't on camera. So you can do this. Just be a little careful, it's fragile. This. Right? And then I'm going to clean it here. Because there was a little ink buildup back on the backside. The back end, yes, you have to be very careful doing that. I don't, just as a habit, I don't do this part. Like, as a normal part of doing cleaning. Yeah, Malandrel. Like, yeah, you can just soak them overnight. That's a good call. I've done that before too. But this one, I could see it had a little bit of ink behind there, which happens. It was actually like not even from this color. I'm gonna shake this out a little bit. You can get the compressed air nozzle thingy out of there. Yeah, I'll do that more than I will take these apart. Is shoot a syringe up in there rather than take them apart like this, just because they can be finicky. All right, so most converters do this. If you ever get frustrated with one, see, now I'm gonna have trouble putting it back together. This is why you just don't do it in general. Cross-started it. What's up, Claire? All right, so yeah, and there it's back together again. So party. All right, so the Nikayas slowly migrating to the left here on my desk. So the Nikayas have a different fitting back here, right? For their cartridge, they're wider. The international size booger sucker doesn't fit around the post that's in there. Well, I guess you can technically make it fit if you shove it, as I just did. But what you can do is cut off a tip, and this way it just seals around the whole back end of this part. Right, so all your Japanese pens have this type of system. So we're just gonna hose that out. Randy Shively, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Oh, hey, Celery. Claire with the sub. Oh no, the mute thingy is on. What is up? We have to unmute. There we go. Sorry. Taking y'all to the vet with me. That's funny. Do you ever use a few drops of ammonia to the cleaning solution? No. Whoa, we just made a huge mistake there. Did I get that on my camera? I just shot water everywhere because I didn't have a good seal. Whoop, I did it again. Yeah, that Lego typewriter is crazy. Can we get a shout out to Celeryman? We rated their stream yesterday. The Lego typewriter build was crazy cool. Yeah, so we still got a lot of ink going in here. Skogsy! Oh, posture check, pandemic, Bruce. Yeah, this is a good time because I am all kinds of sideways doing this. Yeah, there was something, Mike. What was it? I can't remember now. You have to tell me what I linked. Oh, it was the Rotring Core. Rotring Core. That was the. Well, I wanted to put a core review, even though it wasn't like the rollerball one. And I wanted it to go to your blog instead of just somewhere like random on the internet. Yeah, I just shot water everywhere. All right, so here's a new one, right? So this one's not getting clean at first glance, right? So we're gonna have to go more. So you saw the other ones as I ran them through the water and the aspirator. They were good out the first time. We're gonna do this one again. So that happens. That's just one of those things, like especially the orange inks. Like if I have them sitting for a while, and this one's been sitting a little bit, we need to have it in there. Have it run through again. Plus, I'm not getting the best seal on this because of the water level in here. I always find purple takes forever to get out. Yeah. Anything with like the red base, which is your oranges and your purples and your pinks and your reds, tend to be a little bit tougher. I'm going to find like ink splatters on my desk for like the next week. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's put that in a different section. Favorite orange ink with shading? I mean, Fire on Fire shades pretty well. Sailor Apricot shades pretty well. Monteverde. What's the moose one? What's the Monteverde moose one? All right, so see, that was after I did it through the second time. We're good now, right? So after the first time, we still had some orange in there. We ran through the whole process again. No more orange. Okay? So sometimes it just takes a little more work to get the nib and the feed completely clean. So, hey, Dr. D. So yeah. Papier Plume Sazerac, if they ever made that, I'm going to ink up one of my pens with Sazerac. Do you ever use Pen Flush? I meant to follow that up with the ammonia question. I do have a bottle of Pen Flush. I rarely let my pens get into a condition where I need that, but I would if I needed that. Like if I got myself in a really cruddy situation, I would use it. I keep a bottle here. It's been years since I've used it. So this is the Mayora. Man, why is that already... Like, am I spinning the... That's new. Am I spinning the converter as I unscrew this barrel? Again, this is why you do things over a clean station, if you will. Like, why did that happen? Yeah, this spun. So the back of the converter spun as I unscrewed this. Very interesting. All right. We learned something, chat. We learned something today. That's going to go on your permanent record. So yeah, that's why we have a setup like this at a minimum. I mean, that's why my towel looks like this, right? Because just like stuff happens. Like when you're cleaning the pen and taking them apart, stuff happens. So it's a standard international converter, and they've sleeved the back of the twist with it. So yeah, I actually miss using Sazerac. I saw it the other day. I was like, I'm gonna find a pen to ink up with Sazerac. So yeah, so these actually have a blind cap on the back. So when it's on there, like it's up, it's actually, I have this all disassembled now, but like back here, it would normally stick through, but I can tell it catches right here. You hear that? It catches on the inside. So when I unscrewed it, it was actually engaging the piston there. So that's, they're off a little bit in their design for that area, right? It's not, it's a millimeter or two off. So a plastic converter might not have the problem. I think that's a safe bet, Mafia Geek. If I continued to have that problem, I would remove the back of this. We'll actually see if we can remove it right now. This is top satisfaction for the day. Can we have more pen cleaning days? I honestly should do them more because some of these pens have been sitting for a couple of weeks, not being used because I wanted to clean them. So I should just do this like once every other week or so. We should go through this because I actually go through more pens than I thought I did. All right, a couple more times through because this is pretty inky. But if they include the metal one, it should work. That's not a problem they should put in the customer. Correct. That's the issue, right? Don't make me have to discover that like this, right? And see, like that's a new spot here of the green. Like this is why we have all of this mess. This is why we have this prep area, right? Because crap happens. So let me see if this one will actually screw off. I don't want to break it. I'll mess with that later. It's still not all the way clean. An ink-free towel means you didn't do the job right. I don't know. This one wasn't my fault, though. This was a technical issue. So again, like when I'm reviewing pens, it's good that I just don't ink them up and go, right? Because I might not have discovered that if I reviewed this pen as is. I had questions already, right? And you know, changing the inks was one of the questions, one of the things I'm trying to solve. If I ink this up and go straight into the review, I'm gonna miss that 100% of the time. And while that's not like a huge knock on the pen, like it's something you got to think about and it's something that should be mentioned in the review. Oh, that's it's a Mayora pen, Bud the Teacher. It's a Mayora. It looks like Leonardo because both Mayora and Leonardo. What was the issue? I'll show you when I put it back together. Right now, I need to put this. I need to put the converter back. But basically, the short version is this metal part. When I unscrewed the barrel, so it should come out further, right, in the blind cap. If I have this set up right, it pokes out further. So the blind cap's on right, and I'm unscrewing the barrel here, which pulls this out. This part got stuck here. So it started as I'm untwisting, it's lowering the plunger, and then the ink just squirted out onto my hand. So as I'm unscrewing here, this isn't moving, so the plunger's just spinning and pushing the ink out my way. Make sense? I fully, it's just because this is wide, so it's a feature. This is a really good pen. I'm very happy with this pen. And like, I'm not going to ding it much for that, but like, that's definitely something to be aware of. All right, I'm going to have to probably go rinse this ink out. You can clean your pens in pretty dark, skanky water, but at some point it's just mentally. They got too fancy with their converter. Yep. So like the dimensions like slightly out. All right, see you, Mike. So you can clean pens in dirty water, but I still want to see what's going on. So I'm going to go replace these waters here in just a second. So we might, there's still some ink There's still some ink coming out of this pen, so we might try to disassemble this one. So that's another thing. If I'm having trouble cleaning it assembled, I will try to disassemble it to clean it further. But I've never disassembled one of these, so I don't know if they twist or pull. There is a lot of ink left in here, so this is something to think about. All right, there we go. So we're gonna throw this in here for a second while I go. See, there's still a good amount of ink in here. While I go, I'm gonna go get some water for this one. Rinse this one out. This will be our new dirty water. Now I'll go get a clean water. Yeah, looking forward to the podcast with Audrey. It's out. So Mike published it like an hour ago. All right. So yeah, I think y'all will really like the podcast today with Audrey. She was so fun to talk to. All right, so sometimes there wasn't any ink up here in the section, but I just rinsed it out anyway. Sometimes it does get in there. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to see if I can get... My hands are too wet. So what I'm going to do, since this just looks like a traditional feed, you can see every time I grab it, just more and more ink's coming out. So I want to get this out of this feed and clean. It's just going to be easier for me to clean it if I take it apart. But I got to get my hands dry to be able to pull it. All right, so here, I'll show you. You can just pull these out of the feed, so I had to loosen it. So now you have three parts. You have the collar, the feed, and the nib. I just throw them right back in here. These you can pretty much almost hand wash at this time. There's no more. But you saw, I should have showed you better. You saw how much ink was staying up here in the feed and in the collar. Oh, thank you for saying thank you, temporarily awry. So you just want to rinse this stuff out. This happens sometimes, like when this part's covered up and the nib's in here, you get a lot of ink retention up in this area here, right? So you got to take them apart. I would have never gotten this one completely clean with the method that I was using, right? With the standard aspirator method. So that's just one of those things you got to be aware of. But there's nothing to do with these other than rinse. Be careful with your feeds. I've snapped plenty of these right in half. They're very fragile. But just rinse them off, dry them off, and they're good to go. Sometimes if you're up for it, it's a lot easier to clean pens this way because you don't really have to like shoot the water through them, or do anything like that. You just fully disassemble them, and then put them back together. It is always hard to see how these go back. There's a little flat spot in here that you have to find to hit. So let me show you. See how this side here is flat, even though it's not focusing, you can tell that's a flat side. Well, there's a matching flat side on the inside of here. You have to line those up, but it's not always easy. There we go. So then it just slides all the way back in. What material is the feed made of? Plastic. There's some feeds that are ebonite. They're much more chunkier. I've broken an ebonite feed before too. but these are just plastic. The problem is they're fanned, and so they just have a connection point like right through the middle. They're like very bendable. So you just line all that stuff up and then shove it back in there, and that's it. So that one's actually officially clean now. So, man, I still got ink in this stupid converter. Let me do this one more time. Starting to wonder a little bit about the ink. This is the Pannonia, the poison, whatever poison, something or other. Marigold. Is it that one? I forget. All right, clean enough. All right. These last three should be easy. So the shown design, if you missed it, chat told me when I was inking it that I should fill it all the way up because it's the air pressure makes the pen burp. On an eyedropper, the air pressure changes will make the ink burp out of this area of the pen, and it did when I was writing. So I'm actually going to dump it because if I'm going to fill this all the way up, I want a different ink than Citrus Black, which I used. So this one's actually going to be a little bit wasteful, and I'm kind of, well, it just is what it is. So with these, I would just rinsing this under the sink would be good enough. This Ultim's going to clean off very well. So I'm just going to shake it through a couple times. Do the little old Leonardo MZs with Bach nibs have a screwed in nib housing? They should be screw in. Because I think that was a Bach I just took out of the Mayora, to be honest. I think it should have that fitting that I just used. Unless you put the citrus back in another pen. I thought about it, but you know what? It's all right. Whoops. I didn't mean to shake that. All right. But I know it's hard to see because it was kind of a yellowish ink, but like the Ultim is designed to be cleaned this easily, right? You're not going to have any trouble cleaning the barrels of the Ultim. And then the nibs, I'm just going to try to do it the easy way. You know, maybe I should take it apart all the way like I just did that Mayora, but I would rather just go ahead and try to clean it like this if I can, and then most of the time it's going to work, and then if I have to do more, well, I'll just take it apart. So we'll just see. So this is just me squeezing the water through and then pushing some air through. And then we'll kind of run it through the clean water, and then we'll see what we got here. Little yellow, but not much, honestly. So we might just run it through again. And this is just me like forcing water, forcing everything out of here. Like this is gonna be just fine. We'll do it one more time and this will be good to go. My MZ Bach nib was not a screw-in unit. Interesting. But either way, if it's not a screw-in nib unit, it doesn't take much to pull the Bach. Just go slow. That's all. All right, so you can see this was after the first cleaning, and then this area was after the second cleaning, or the second like pressure washing, you know, with the aspirator. So it's all good to go now. Like I'm happy with that. That's all fine and dandy. All right, so that's good. All right, last two. These are all three of these last ones are all Yovo nib units, standard international. These are all pretty easy to clean. I think pilot nibs are the easiest to clean. They you know, just pop out the converter, clean the converter, and the nibs always clean like immediately fast. All right, this is the Dorchester Blue Ponzi pen, Woodshed Ponzi pen. I just want to set this one up differently. So we're just going to dump this. So sometimes the converters take just as long to clean as the pens themselves. This one's pretty simple. So that was the Dorchester Blue. Papier Plume made that. They make great inks, easy to clean, easy to use inks, and that was a purple, and it came out very, very easily. And see, these converters, the international converters, I'll just stack those up and keep them. I'll keep them in a box, but specific converters like the Leonardos or the Mayors, where they have the little accessory, I'll put them back in with their own pen. Platinums go back into a box because they're universal. The Nikaya pen doesn't have a special Nikaya converter. It's just a platinum converter. So we had a little ink in there from when we inked it up from the bottle. So these acrylics these days, they don't really stain or anything. You just gotta kind of run water through them. I'll wipe it out with a paper towel and be done with it. And then I'm actually gonna put that nib unit back in there to make it easier to clean. But I wanted to get this out first. Maybe I'll just clean it separately. I'll show you all again. Just cleaning it. I'll just clean this one separately since it's already out. So we'll just pull it. Here, you just want to go slow and see where the ink resides up here. So that's where the collar covers the ink in the feed. So a lot of your ink's going to live right around here, and you can't always get this part clean. Sometimes the aspirator pushes all that through, gets it clean, just like on this nib. We didn't see any remnants of this being pushed through later. Sometimes they stick up here, so you can just separate them, pull them apart. And they're actually, if you're up for pulling them apart, it's technically easier to clean because all these parts are now just rinsable, right? You don't have to really work at them to get them clean. But it's just a matter of whether you want to take the time and effort to take them apart and do that. It's a little bit more fragile to do it that way. I will generally just opt for using an aspirator first. If you're at a sink, I find holding the unit nib up. Yeah, good idea, Mafia Geek. Good point. I do that as well. So what Mafia Geek is saying, I'll show you when I put this back together, is normally I would be at a sink doing this, and one of the things you can do is, run the water this direction, right, down the nib, as opposed to this direction, right? It's going to be better. I usually disassemble my nib units, even though it's probably not good for the plastic long term. That's a good point. So, I never really consider that, but that's a real thing, especially since I've broken feeds before. And I've got other feeds to use to swap out, but I would rather not if I don't have to. If I can get this clean first shot with the aspirator in the sink, I'm done. Because I think eventually I'm going to break something pulling it apart. Because you have to use some force to do it. I rarely take pens apart completely. I worry about long-term longevity if I were to take it apart all the time. Yep, I agree with that completely. So I wouldn't say I necessarily avoid it, thoughtfully. I'm not saying, I'm not taking this apart because it's just gonna, ruin it. But I think that's a really, really good point to not do that frequently. All right, one more pen, and then we're gonna get to the real highlight of the day. If this wasn't a highlight already, watching me clean pens. I found ink on the top of the hidden part of the nib more times even when the water runs clean. I guess that's true. But I usually don't see it affecting anything. I almost never see if I felt that I've cleaned the pen good, even if I don't take it apart, I never really get like that type of contamination in my lines. Even if it doesn't break, it will stretch out over time and the nib and feed don't fit as tight into the housing, which could affect performance. Yeah, I completely agree. Like, for as simple as it looks, disassembling that, it's like an aggressive pulling of the feed in the collar. UBI works. A reminder, if you're going to clean by running water in the sink, please place a fine screen over the drain before you start. Yes, just go buy yourself one of those little swap outs, or you can just drop in one of those things, because I've never lost a nib down the sink, but I've definitely dropped parts into the sink and like had a panic thinking that it was going to go. But that's a great idea. So you want some kind of catch in your sink to protect you from losing parts, because sometimes it's not always the nib. You'll have pens like Lamy 2000. If you ever disassemble that, it's got this little ring that allows the cap to snap on. Well, those things go flying, and they're impossible to find. So Sailor has a little ring band in some of their pens that I've seen, and like I've definitely had parts go flying. Luckily, I've never lost any parts. Also, don't drop pens frequently, so maybe those things go hand in hand. Your call. But if I'm going to do that, I'll do the majority cleaning over the sink and then do the disassembly outside of the sink, like in the bowl, like this. So we had a little ink sticking up here in the converter. It's fine. So I'm just going to clean it out a second time, shake it out, see what we get, and now it's fine. So throw that into the international pile up, and then I think we'll just clean this one traditionally. So my fingers, even if they weren't stained, my fingers would be tinted the color of this water from using it. I've seen that done before. My complaint with the Mayora converter has been the rattle against the blind cap collar. It is metal on metal. So you can get this stuff called silicone tape that's like microscopically thin. But I mean, you don't want to have to do that. But you can, if you want to keep the same converter. There's this silicone tape stuff that we often use for like threading, stuff like that. My pens are probably never that clean. I just wash until the water runs clear. I mean, that's fair, but if you're swapping ink colors, you're going to run into issues. Like if you're going from a blue to an orange, you're eventually going to have problems. If you're using the same inks, not a problem. Or at least the same color range inks. Yeah, lost that Lamy 2K ring the first time cleaning. It's a real thing. It's plumber tape, but it's thinner. If you want to email me, I'll have to find out exactly what Brian uses. Like I can't. It's like stuff that you can't see it hardly after you use it. But I'd have to get the specifics from Brian. But if that's something you want to try, just email me and I can find out specifically what it is. All right, it's the last one. This is the Gravitas entry. So still a little bit of ink there. Like I know it was a blue ink in there, so this is like purpley. So there's definitely a little bit more in there, but that's really not that much. Like I'm not gonna what I'm gonna do now is just dip it in the clean water and test it. Like if I see the ink coming out now, and I don't, so I feel like it's pretty good. Like that ink was just for me shaking out. So yeah, like I'm done with this one. Like it's fine. All right. Let me see what I need here. Let me move the salsa bowls to do what we're going to do next. Rinse out your aspirators when you're done. Take them to the sink. run some clean water in it. I'll go do that in a minute. Does anyone use those ultrasonic machines? Y'all talk about that while I'm gone. If Alan's still here, he does. I have one. I don't use it religiously. All right, I'm gonna spill these if I try to. All right, this is gonna take me 2 trips, chat. So just hang tight. And we're gonna come back and fill our Sailor King of Pen converter, fresh from Australia. Be right back. So my opinions on ultrasonics is I don't have a situation where they come in super handy, right? Like all of these pens, like none of this would have benefited from an ultrasonic. Like Rewizzle was saying, for regular cleaning, I don't bother. If there was something that aggressively had to be done, it's useful. But for like regular day-to-day stuff, you wouldn't really need it. Should be called the Kong of converter. All right, so this is what we got yesterday, Chad. Not this. This is the pen that it's going in. So let me make some room up here for it. Get it more in camera. Actually, let me put this Mayora barrel back together before I lose all these parts that I don't need. So, this is what we got yesterday if you weren't here. How much extra work is it cleaning out a piston conveyor to a converter? I've been eyeing the 2000, but I'm hesitant since I only have converters. In the case of the Lamy 2000, I'd say it's almost easier. You're just constantly, just like I'm doing with these converters, the constant out, in. That's all you got to do with the 2000. I found that the 2000 cleans especially easy. Pellet. This light is not in a good situation, chat. We're going to leave that light down. It fell yesterday. That's 2 days in a row. I don't know what it's not liking right now. Whew. But we got to figure that out because that's not cool. Yeah, I'm fine. It hit me in the back, but it's all right. So we'll just go with a little bit more whack lighting here for today. It scared me more than anything. Somehow it doesn't look like it broke anything except my will to live. Whew. Hi, how are you? Wow. All right, I don't know what's going on, but we got to figure that out. Slightly damaged pen cell. Yeah, look, I don't know how it didn't break anything, but it didn't. So, anyway, that's a whole situation. All right. Let's do this before the rest of the world ends. Workers' comp. Oof. I'd like to see a clip of that. What are we going to use to fill this with? All right, so here's the deal. So the Sailor King of Pen is obviously, don't forget the instructions. Yeah, I did pull them. And we're going to use Sailor Yamadori for this, which is probably one of my top 5, top 10 inks of all time. If I'm going to go large capacity, we're going to go with a favorite ink. Like, that's what I was talking about with the Ultim. So we're going to use Yamadori here in just a second. So the idea here is that the Sailor has this King of Pen, which is just like a big, girthy, large size pen. And it's still got the little stinking Sailor converter in there. I know this isn't a Sailor converter. Oh, it's not even going to fit. But it's just got the standard Sailor converter. I'm sure a lot of you've seen. You know, they're actually even smaller than these international converters. Slots all the way down here and just doesn't hold a lot of ink for what's really like should be a large capacity pen. So someone on eBay, and y'all have to find the name for me, because y'all sent me the link. 3D printed large capacity converters for the King of Pen. So I'm going to put it in and look at it before we go fill it. So this is the standard Sailor coupling. It's going to slot in here, and then it's designed to fit in and then kind of expand over like this whole metal contraption that they have here in the front end of the pen, and then go into here and use up really as much volume as it can here. So you can see the bulk of the pen is in this area, and then the little extra filling apparatus is up here in the end. So it's actually designed really well. All right, I gotta watch this. I gotta see what this has.
This light is not in a good situation, chat. This light is not in a good situation, chat.
My face is stupid. 3D printed or injection molded? These are 3D printed, I believe. Holy crap. Right, so this bulk fits into this area of the pen. Oh my god. You better believe I'm sharing that on the socials. Thank the Clarude for clipping that. That's a good one. All right, so yeah, this is the idea. To give me, it's probably, I'm going to guess, and we talked about it yesterday, it's probably somewhere between 2 and 3 times the amount of ink you would normally get out of a King of Pen. And the King of Pen, they don't ship with anything less than a medium nib in it. So you're putting down some ink, you're writing a lot. I mean, this is a pen designed to be used. So this is the way to increase that ink capacity. So it has rules. There's a rule set here, chat, which we talked about yesterday. This is what shipped with it. All right, there are 2 ways to fill the cartridge. Before it's installed, we're just gonna fill it up top down, right? It says I can use this. I don't really need to use this piece to fill it. Or I can attach it to one of my syringes, I guess, is probably the idea. So let's see if will let it screw into my syringe? Yeah. So we'll just screw this piece in. We'll just screw this piece into my syringe. I'll draw up some ink in here, and then we'll ink it up right like that. All right. Where we got confused yesterday was after it's inked. So it's in the pen now, and it's inked. Just let's pretend here. And I run low on ink. I can take this piece here off the back of my pen, not have to disattach that, and then re-ink it from here. But the picture says do it this way, which scares me. I'm like, do I really have to do it that way? So bring the pen into horizontal position, carefully unscrew, insert the needle provided. Bring the pen into vertical position while holding the needle slightly pressed against the cartridge. Fill the cartridge ink in the vertical position. Return the pen to the horizontal position. Carefully extract the needle. The ink will not leak even if the cartridge is full. Put the cap on. Yeah, I guess they just don't want you to shoot ink out through the nib. That's the only reason I can really think of. I agree with that. Tabs. So it's just kind of weird, right? It's unnatural compared to what we're used to doing. But anyway, that's it. Like, so let's sync this up. So I'm actually just going to use one of my larger converters. I'm going to add this to the collection of syringes I have here. Yeah, for the air to escape. That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm with you. I understand why. I'm just saying it goes against everything we've ever been taught, but the science of it, the physics of it actually makes a lot of sense. I'm just adding this to the various collection of syringes and filling devices. I'm going to use my standard long one. We're going to use Yamadori. Just like the Visconti traveling, well, they say to point it up. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. If you do it nib down, the ink would just freely run out. I'm with y'all. All right. Yamadori's awesome. I don't know how much ink we're going to get in here. We're going to fill this up. I'm assuming this line right here is where I want to fill it to, right? So let's see. I'm feeling this is going to be a lot of ink. Oh, I should have measured it. That's almost 3 milliliters of ink, I think. I think I was almost up. It was at least 2.5. I should have looked. That was probably close to 3 milliliters of ink. That's a lot of ink. So that's good. That's what we're here for. All right. All right, and we're just going to pop it in here. And we're good to go. Right, so that's my big Sailor King of Pen converter. So it's kind of cool. I like the design's great because you can just see the big bubble of ink there. I think that's pretty neat. We'll see if I can get it writing here in a second. I just want to get some of this stuff out of the way. That was pleasantly anticlimactic. Yeah. Well, it's a $50 converter, so that's the climactic part, right? Have you ever spilled a bottle of ink before? I haven't. The one incident I've had is when I came back from the Atlanta Pen Show one year. I parked. We have a carport. I parked in the carport, opened my trunk, and like a box of like stuff fell out, and a bottle of ink broke in the carport. That was it. I found it on eBay. I'll have to get you the link. I don't know if Mafia Geek or 004A has the link handy here, but they're who sent it to me, who told me about it. So it may not write here in just a second, but he makes like 10 at a time, and it's like $35, and then like another $15 shipping from Australia. So it changes the weight of the pen, which is good. This is a light pen. I can feel the difference in weight just having that much more ink in it. It seems like anyway. So this will probably take a little bit to get going. So what I tend to do is I just put them nib down like in a shirt pocket or stand them up on a desk or just keep them vertical and just kind of keep using it a little bit, and it'll get going here before too long. All right, we should give something away. We've been way too long. We've been way too hesitant. Let me put together some of these barrels real quick, and then we'll do a giveaway. I like changing ink so often the small converter actually doesn't bother me. I'm kind of with you, Isla Wind. Like, I use a lot of inks. Very few pens have the same ink in them all the time, and I very rarely go back to the thing. Nakaya giveaway. How many subs do I have? We could do like a long-term goal, like a couple years goal. Like if I got to 1,000 subs or something like that, give away like a Nikaya. My phone just beeped. Oh, my phone might have taken the... Yeah, my phone took the spill. It's down there on the floor. Are there typically secondhand King of Pen models it shows? Very rarely. Just because there's not a lot of them to begin with. I don't think I've ever bought a secondhand King of Pen. I am actually going to sell a King of Pen as well as a couple of Nikayas here in a couple of weeks. I'm selling the... Oh, the one person that might have some would be Sarge. But it'd be very expensive. All right, my wife and my daughter are texting. I bought my KOP secondhand, super pleased with it. Did you buy it from a show or from a friend? Like, I've bought King of Pen secondhand. I have a secondhand King of Pen, but I don't think I've ever bought one from a show. I bought it from a friend. Thank you, Slumberland Studio. I like them. Will there be a pre-sale list? That's not a bad idea, Boss Baker Chris. I don't know. It's a Rialo King of Pen from a friend? Yeah. I'm not saying you can't get King of Pen secondhand. I just don't know that you'll rarely see them in a show. But from an individual, plenty. All right. I'm going to ink this back up today. I love this. Whoops, wrong part. I'm very happy with my Ultim pen, and I want to get it into a better situation than I had it in. Make more pen friends. Got it. I mean, for that particular one, yeah. So the one I'm selling is going to be the clear one with the blue finials. I forget which store in Japan had it. I just don't use it as much as the Sky, and they're kind of similar. And plus, I've bought other pens. Like, I need to sell some pens just because of things I've been buying. Brad, get an FNF housing for your Shonen. Yeah, I will. Promise. Actually, I might switch the nib out even before I ink it back up this time. All right. We're back in business here. Okie dokie. Let's find something to give away. Anyone want a light that keeps falling down? Should give that away. Let me grab my phone to make sure it actually didn't break my phone. Nope. All right, let's switch the camera back. At least for a minute. Oh, that's fine. What do we got here? What do we got? Since we're only doing one giveaway today, and it's a pen giveaway, we should give away a nice fancy pen. What do y'all think? We should give away a nice pen today, because y'all have been so patient with me. And my light fell. Any update on Knot Card restock? Nope. I need to email. I need to email. That needs to be higher on my priority list, honestly. Because I'm out of a bunch of models of cards are getting low. All right. Give me room, people. So this is, I think, the short one, which I think is maybe the best model. It's a Fantasia. I hope it's in this box. You want me to send you a daily reminder? No, it's okay. I hope this is in the box. I haven't checked. Hey, it's in the box. So this is the Fantasia. $125, still has a price tag on it. I was probably supposed to review it, but I think we reviewed a different model. So yeah, this is a cool one because it's eyedropperable and postable and pocketable. So it's like a full-length writer, but not a super giant pen. What size nib did it say? Did it say medium? Medium. Medium nib. So yeah, really cool dude. Really cool little pen. All right, so we're gonna give that away today because y'all are awesome and you deserve awesome things. I think my giveaways are funny because like if Jerica was here, I'd be giving away like a handheld, like a little pencil sharpener, and she'd win, and then I'd give away give away a super nice fountain pen. It's like, I won what yesterday, and now you're giving away this? It's like, yes, sorry about that. That's just how we roll around here. Oh, what is on my desk? All right, so we see I'm already finding inky stuff on my desk. I think it's a number 5. Yeah, number 5 nib. Will I be getting a spoke design purple Axer S for my birthday on Sunday? You will not. You will not. Did we do those in purple? I don't have all the colors yet. We did more Axel colors. I don't think we... It's a good question. No. I'm pretty sure no's the answer. All right, let's give away the Opus. I mean, sometimes we got to give away not the nice things, right? I'm not going to use it. Who else is going to use it? Y'all are going to use it. That's who's going to use it. And there's not 80 billion people in here watching today, so y'all have better odds today. Sorry, Tessa, I know. That was a guilt trip. Opus 88. Fantasia. Oh, also, this box says F. It is a medium nib. It is M nib, so don't at me. It's a free pen. You'll live. If it says F on the outside, it's M on the inside. Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all? All right. Let's do the thing. Exclamation point raffle to enter. That's how you do it round here. Whoa, there's a follow. V Manolia, thank you for joining us today on this wonderful pen cleaning, light falling, mess making, pen giving away stream. You're awesome. And you should be proud of your awesomeness. All right, I am actually going to take this off the desk. You get to see my new lighting. What's up, new lighting day? Hashtag new lighting. You're proud of your awesomeness? Oh, you're a friend of the show. Who's up next? Yours was last week. 2 weeks ago? When was your friend of the show? 2 weeks ago? I think I have one to release today. I have one to record tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow is when I'm releasing it. Sorry, I was having a meeting with myself there. We're officially out of water, so this would be a good time to wrap the stream. $7.29. So I got another week then. I try to do them every other week. So that's only last week. Okay, so 2 weeks. Cool. You ever look at a word so many times you think it's misspelled? I frequently. Like, I'm not going to lie, frequently. Oh, that's really cool, Daring Lunch Meat, to write the thank you note. That's especially in that situation, like that's perfect. I wish I knew what was wrong with this light. All right. Semantic satiation happens. All right, we're going to pick a winner. Ready? Llama pajamas. Llama pajamas. I should have given away the llama pins to llama pajamas. Congratulations, llama pajamas. Holy crap. Oh, I haven't emailed. I'm going to email the llama pajamas people today. The llama pins. Congratulations. You need to email me your shipping address. hello@penaddict.com. Congratulations. Whoop whoop. Brooks is taunting us with the DC pins posts. Nice. We'll go look at those after. I don't have time today. All right, llama pajamas. Llama pajamas _ specifically. There you go. Winner. All right, that's a wrap for us today, chat. Yeah, if y'all have any questions on pin cleaning or have any troubles, let me know. We'll do it again soon, because there's always something new and different that pops up every time you do this. You think you know, but sometimes you don't know. All right, so thank y'all for hanging out. You're super great. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna go try to fix my light, and I'm glad I didn't die. Raid time. Gosh, dang it. Almost forget. Almost did a thing again. Anyone out there? Hello? Anyone in this world? I appreciate y'all going to do the raid stuff. We have Knit Kate. We have Rainbow Sophia, who we've raided before. Let's look and see what else we got real quick. I'm glad the light didn't kill you. Me too. That would have sucked. That would have sucked. Anyone else? Anyone new? Like yesterday, we made a new friend, right? Let's see what else we can do. Yesterday was the perfect raid. So we made a new friend. All right, see you get composted. I was gonna say, I was like, oh, this person's doing thank you, llama pajamas. I'll ship it tomorrow. I was like, oh, this person's doing a planner stuff, and it's Rainbow Sophia. We should just go raid her again, because this looks cool what she's doing. Let's go raid Rainbow Sophia. That will be good. She will like that. All right, so y'all go say hi. We'll be heading over there momentarily. Oh man, she's got some cool stuff going today. All right, y'all have fun. Bye.